But I mean, the thing is with the film as well. Apparently, Donald Sutherland did have a tendency to alter or improvise his lines as Merrick, which they let him do because he was kind of the biggest name on set at the time in terms of like the prestige of the actor. So Fran Rubel Kazooie kind of let him get away with it, but Joss Whedon was like in the back corner, not very happy about it,
Okay,
evidently.
so and here's I read that too, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like one, Joss Whedon, just take it easy. It's listen, it's Donald Sutherland, okay? He's big, like we used to call, me and my buddies used to call Donald Sutherland Big Daddy S, just because like his presence is so awesome on the
Yeah.
screen, and of course he's obviously he's Kiefer Sutherland's father, right? So
Papa.
um I don't know how you tell an actor like that to
Rein it in.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I
he's an amazing actor. One, the fact that he's actually in this film is again, like, I don't even like, how would you get this guy in this film in particular? Because even the title of the film is like, you know what movie this is. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a surprise.
It's like, "Did you
And the
intend
fact
to be
that,
here, sir? Like, did someone lie
yeah,
to you
yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
along the line?" Like, I
exactly,
don't know if your
exactly.
agent was completely honest with you, but maybe they gave you a different title for the script. I would be genuinely curious to know which lines he improvised just because I'm kinda curious, like, what he would see as, like, a good line to improvise. I don't see him as an improviser. I see him as, like, a theatrical, like, very dramatic actor. Is the idea of him improvising, like, slightly comedic in tone lines just kinda tickles me a little bit. I just wanna
Yeah.
know. I wanna know what they were.
Well, I mean, I think for the most part in the film, he plays it straight too. Like,
Yeah.
he plays it as a serious role, which I
Oh, yeah.
always think is the best. Someone's had a quote about this recently, and I meant to write it down and I didn't. But someone said, like, why would you not uh, uh, um, play this role like you would any other role? That's your job, right?
Yeah,
And so I think like that's like the the oddness of the film, I think comes through on that. And let's talk about the rest of the cast too, because
totally.
and you know what, I'll throw out a couple lobby cards too, because I got a great one of Donald Sutherland right there. Of course,
With the
Christy Swanson.
goatee,
I mean, look at this guy.
that
And
hat
again, he's
at a quirky angle, he's so dapper.
I know. I'm gonna go get a hat like that, and I'm gonna start wearing it like that
Jaunty.
all the time.
Jaunty
But yeah,
angle.
let's talk about the cast, because of course, the film is anchored by these two on the screen here right now. Of
Of
course,
course.
Donald Sutherland and Christy Swanson. But the supporting cast, I mean, do you want to like
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you've got
oh,
Hilary Swank, who has an excellent line, "Get out of my facial," which I thought was very funny when I heard it. I don't know if there's a lobby card for this next one, but like Rutger Hauer, which is like he is just such a legend, as well as Donald Sutherland. They're both kind of right up there and in their prestige. You have Stephen Root as the principal, the aforementioned immortal Stephen Root.
amazing.
Uh, a surprising David Arquette in here also makes a great little appearance. This was also, I believe, Thomas Jane's first real movie as the mechanic. He was not known, he was kind of known for a particular character in The Crow 2, which you may want to talk about a little bit.
Well,
But
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that, because I love Thomas Jane.
yeah,
I love Thomas Jane's career as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
sorry.
And
Go ahead.
then,
Go ahead.
and then lastly, we have a very, very baby-faced Ben Affleck as a character that I dubbed "Disgusted Basketball Player Number 10."
Is that what he's listed as in the credits? Did you look?
No, that's what I listed him
I
as,
think
is
he's
my
uncredited, right? Yeah.
imagination.
So here's a
There he
quick
is.
photo of
He's
Ben
a disgusted
Affleck.
basketball player, and he is number 10, so there we go.
And of course, and last but certainly not least, of course, the amazing Paul Rubens,
Of course.
who is just
Steals
fantastic
the
in this
show.
role. I think he's the MVP of the film,
Totally.
personally.
Mhm.
He's just so funny, and it was such uh, what would you
A
um
pleasure.
no, it was like it was a different role for him, even though it was still
Yeah.
comedy. He'd spent so much time building up, of course, Pee Wee Herman as a character and stuff like that. To see him on screen in a totally sort of different capacity, I think was well, I think this was kind of the first time people had seen him like this,
Yeah.
in something that wasn't. like other than the character that he was known as, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Going back to
That
uh,
appearance too, though, just as a quick note about that, I mean, it's
yeah.
kind of the first time that people had seen him as this. However, they did see him looking similar to this because his long hair and goatee was kind of based on the infamous mugshot from his arrest in 1991. They're like, "Hey, we can recreate
Oh.
that look." So that's why he looks, not
Like he
very
does in this
recogni
shot here. Yeah,
Yeah,
as
like
he
he
does
does
in
the
this
shot,
film.
just reenacting that mugshot, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and then let's just get another quick photo of Ben Affleck here.
There he is,
There we go. I mean,
baby
disgusting
face.
basketball player number 10. Listen, like I said, before we got on the air here, just throwing this up as well. Like we've got, this movie actually stars not one but two Oscar winners. One, of course, being Ben Affleck. Everyone knows that.
Mhm,
Everyone knows he's an Academy Award winner. But also, this was Hilary Swank's first movie as well, and she obviously went on to win for Million Dollar Baby, the Clint Eastwood directed dramatic boxing pick. So I love seeing that in these movies. Like I love seeing
mhm.
actors that are, because you already have, like you mentioned, Rutger Hauer, established, incredible actor. Donald Sutherland, of course, and then you also have on top of that Hilary Swank, who is like goes on to have this fairly iconic career herself, right?
Absolutely, yeah, it's always kind of fun to trace back, some actors to these roles that I don't know if they will ever, acknowledge that they did. The one that I also always think of is, Matthew McConaughey in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Is it 2 or 3?
No, it's four. It's the next
4. Oh
generation.
my gosh,
Yeah.
Next Generation, yeah, that's 4. So I always think of that one as well. There's, like, I think Jaws 3 that has a reputable actor in it that's an Oscar winner, and I can't remember who it is at this moment, but yeah, there's I made a whole list of it a while back of actors that, Oscar winners that appeared in ridiculous horror movies before their time.
I know Michael Caine's in Jaws 4.
That's it, Jaws
Is it
4, it's
Michael?
Michael
Yeah.
Caine.
Isn't that, doesn't he do in an interview where
Michael
he says,
Caine.
yeah, 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 Michael Caine. Uh, doesn't he do an interview where he said, he didn't know what the movie was about, but it paid for a house or something?
I
There's a
mean,
famous quote. I think it's Jaws 4 or AKA Jaws the Revenge.
yeah.
That movie's ridiculous too.
Well,
Is
I
that
mean,
movie in the
it's
90s? Should we do that one? Jaws 4?
ooh.
All
Jaws
right.
4
We'll get back to you,
is
Drew. Hey, listen, if you're just tuning in, if you're checking out the channel for the first time, please feel free to subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And of course, hit that notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up if you
Mhm.
can. And hey, if you'd like us to review something or have a comment on this review, please leave it down in the comment section below. What our question for you tonight is, can we review Jaws 4?
87.
Ah,
I know.
oh,
Disappointed.
sorry, guys. No. Well, so this is the program where we will not be reviewing
No,
Jaws 4.
Jaws
So,
4.
but anyway,
Curses.
listen, a great cast. I think it's, I had forgotten that David Arquette was in this film, which
Yeah,
is kind of cool. And of course, I think the film overall is such a quirky little entry into like 90s, if you want to say cinema. But I also do feel um, it's a pretty great companion piece to Clueless. And
totally.
every time I was watching it, this last time, I couldn't help but make that comparison. I really do feel it's like that's a pretty decent double header if you're looking for, I guess, like SoCal, um, teenage high school flicks. I would say
I
from the
well,
90s.
Clueless was 95, so I like to imagine it was inspired by Buffy,
Ah.
but they just took out the vampires and added more fashion. That's what I like to imagine Clueless as from this moment forward.
Yeah. Okay. So, uh, less
It's
vampires, more
Clueless
fashion.
is Buffy, but make it
Wait, that's
fashion.
so that's but that listen, that's a marketing. I bet you they had you back in the day,
Ugh,
for marketing.
get me a time
Less
machine, I'll go
vampires,
make
more
more money.
fashion.
Yeah, vampires, but make it fashion.
Yeah. Probably a little bit of mixed messaging though, if people saw it on a poster, but whatever.